Hi and welcome to a new video. This is a DIY video, which I think you've guessed already, and I'm trying out a very different type of dress, this one. Stay tuned or skip to the very end if you want to see the reveal. But yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to see me make this dress. I drafted the pattern myself. I've embroidered like a million beads onto this dress, which was a whim in the middle. And then also obviously used my serger and shows a few different things here and there. I'd say it's a very easy dress to make. It takes time though, specifically referencing to the beads. So if you're gonna hand embroider on like I did, it takes a while, but if you're only making the dress, it's a really quick dress. It only has 1, 2, 4, 7 seams, and then you're done. So yeah, anyway, I really hope you enjoy the video, and like I said, jump to the end if you want to see the results right away, or just come along for the ride and see me make this dress. There's definitely some pattern altering along the way as well, so yeah, enjoy it guys, and thanks for being here. Okay guys, so let's start sewing. I just wanted to show you my pattern and fabric parts before we get to it. I drafted the pattern myself, and I was inspired by the dress that I know I already showed you, but it took me a little while to figure out like how I wanted that pattern to look. So what I came up with was this, like, okay, this is the outer fabric. So these flared sleeves and like flared bottom, and then straight across the shoulders. So I started with drafting the outer fabric pattern first. And doing that, I just used my tailor ruler to like curve out edges like this one, but I essentially just marked out, so 1/4 of my shoulder measurement, and then 1/4 of my chest measurement and under bust measurement, and then at the bottom I pretty much winged it. I know I have a certain measurement on my hips, and it obviously needed to be, yeah, at least 10 to 15 centimeters bigger than that, because I want that poofed effect at the bottom. And then for the lining, I actually decided to go, so the measurements up here are exactly the same, but I've made the sleeve and the bottom smaller, so that I have the inner fabric to attach my outer fabric to and create that poof. I don't know if that makes sense yet, but I'll show you later on in the video. And also just for visual, so you can see here, this is the lining fabric layered on top of the outer fabric, so you can see that we have a bit more to work with here, and also a bit more to work with here. So these are the measurements that I used. I used my chest to thigh, so how long do I want the dress to be? How long do I want it to go from my chest down to my legs? And then I also used my shoulder measurement and just split it by 4, like I said, at the very top here for that measurement, so this measurement. And then I also did my shoulder to mid-hand, like how far down do I want the dress to go, and I came up with that I wanted it to go approximately down to here. So I measured from my shoulder and down to here. And then I also did, yeah, like I said, my chest. So these are the measurements that I did, and you can pause the video here to see those measurements. But I just want to tell you about a last one that I also did, which was, so around my upper arm, I want obviously the opening of the sleeves to be big enough for my arms to come through. So I did my measurement of my upper arm plus 2 or 3 centimeters for this measurement. Yeah, what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna join the lining and outer fabric, just the lining fabric pieces together and the outer fabric pieces together. I'm gonna sew them across the sleeve out to here, and then I'm also gonna sew them together here. Oh, final thing I did before we get started. So final thing of the prep work that I already did. I overlocked all of the pieces and obviously cut them, but that's about it. So pattern drafting, cutting the pieces, and then overlocking is what I've done so far. You'll also see I had to be creative because I didn't have enough fabric to like cut the whole piece in one go. So I had to cut the bottom piece on one of the outer, and the same for the lining. But yeah, it all worked out in the end. So let's get sewing. Take me back into your heart. Back into your heart. Take me back into your heart. Okay guys, so the lining and outer fabric have been sewn. I've sewn them here and there on both sides. You also saw me trying on in the bathroom, and they were actually a little bit too wide, so I've taken in just about another centimeter or so 2 centimeters on each side for both of them. What I want to do now is actually make sure that the top and the bottom have the same difference as the sleeves do. This is like the perfect distance because this fabric will I'll attach this this to this on the inside, which means that this will fold in nicely so that we'll get that fluffy sleeve. And I want the same to happen at the bottom. So I'm gonna take off, I think about 7 or 8 centimeters of the lining fabric here and just serge around. And then for the top, I'm actually gonna take off, I think about 3 to 4 centimeters because I want to attach the outer fabric to the lining, and then I'm gonna press it and sew in the side ditch here to make sure that it stays in place. But I'm gonna press it and make sure that the outer fabric is actually about 2 centimeters above the lining, also on the inside. So yeah, let's take off a little bit from the bottom and the top. And the next thing I'm gonna do is start by joining the neckline together, or the shoulder line together, and then join the sleeves together. Yeah. We are starting to get somewhere. It's resembling somewhat of a dress. I've just tried it on as well, and I'm very happy that I took in those extra few centimeters, because otherwise it would have been too big over the shoulders. It's still a little bit loose, but it needs to be that size in order for me to actually get my arms in. I look quite funny getting into the dress. Before I go any further, I'm gonna finish the neckline, and what I've done is, because I've cut the outer fabric those centimeters higher, I'm able to fold it in, so about 1 centimeter or 2. And what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna press it all the way around, and then on the outside, or inside, I think outside to make it pretty, I'm just gonna sew a stitch like exactly in the stitch right out here, like 2 or 3 centimeters to hold that in place, because I don't think that the press is gonna be enough to hold it in place like when I wear it. So that's what I'm gonna do as well. So press it and then get a stitch in here on both sides, and then we move on to the sleeves and the bottom. are we in an elevator? Well, I decided to crystallize the dress. The inspiration photo also has these crystal like sewn on to the outside fabric. I know this is kind of a throw up because we just came from, or throw up. We just came from the sleeves, but I'm gonna finish those when I come back. I just need to run now before the store closes. So I'm gonna try to find some sequences or sequin that goes with the perfect pearl. Okay, I did find something that I might be able to use, which is this, and I'm thinking primarily the top ones or the bottom ones, the flower ones. Now for the middle bead, I might be thinking, so these ones right here, but, and this is a very important but, people, I've had a bag of beads for, I think at this point, maybe 10 years. And every time I did a clean or anything, I said to myself, I should really throw these out. And then another part of me was like, don't do it, they have potential. And I think I finally might be able to use them because I also have these beads. So let's see. Maybe past me, who thought there was potential in these beads, finally gets her her comeback, but if I don't use them, I'll still keep them. Okay. It is time to sew the sleeves. I have just pinned all the way around here, and because the outer fabric is bigger, there's more fabric than the lining. There's this like bulk all the way around. You could obviously use a gather foot or do a long stitch and ruffle this, but I'm just gonna wing it. So I've done that on both sides. Really, really important detail though. Check so that the seams line up on the inside so that your outer fabric isn't twisted. But yeah, I'm gonna sew these on, and then we're gonna move on to the beading, and then we are nearing the end, people, because then it's time to do the bottom hem. Like 3 hours yesterday, or 2.5, something like that, and then I finished off today. I will show you what the embroidery came out like, but let's save that for the reveal. Yes. On the final stretch, I only have the bottom hem left, and I will say I took quite a bit off at the top and the bottom, remember? And I decided to take even more off on the bottom layer, or the lining layer. And that's because even though I took a lot off and the sleeves were already adjusted, I don't feel like the sleeves, like the outer fabric, is coming in far enough. So I'm gonna fix the hem, and then I'm gonna fix the sleeves, and yeah, then it's reveal time. the last round of this dress. I have just finished the sleeve seams, making the lining shorter on the inside so that I get a bit more coverage for the outer fabric. I want to say, when I made the pattern for this dress, I had like a picture in my head of what I thought it would look like. While I'm very happy with the silhouette, it's a bit more like, what do you say? Like it's a bit more A-lined and outwards going, like the shape of the skirt than the inspiration was. Then, yeah, I just want to say that you feel totally free to change this. I want to show you really quickly what the pattern would have looked like from the beginning if I would have known what I know now. So let's skip to that part. Yeah, so as you can see, I would have made it a bit more straight down. And I would have made the lining shorter, like on all sides, both top, sleeves, and bottom from the beginning. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this process, and this is, I guess, what some has been waiting for. This is the look of what the final dress actually came to be.